Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to everyone. Please go ahead, let me know in the chat box. You can hear me and see my slides. So let me know you can hear me and see my slides. That way I know you're here. You can also hear. Fabulous. Thank you. Welcome. Lovely to see you all. Please feel free to put your cameras on as well. Always nice speaking to people. But just let me know in the chat box you can hear me clearly and see my slides. Give it another minute. Thank you, Wendy. Wonderful. Welcome to everyone. Lovely to see some familiar faces, some new faces, loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you, Prudy. Can hear and see your slides. Fantastic. Thank you, Louise. Thank you. Wonderful. Please let me know where are you dialing in from, and also what industry are you in? Thank you so much, Karen. Appreciate you. Where are you dialing in from, and what industry are you in? Thank you so much for putting those cameras on. Always lovely speaking to people. I had over 66 people registered for this evening, so well done to those that are here. 15 people that have said yes, gifting your time, and I appreciate that as well. So while you are here for the next 90 minutes, take your cell phone, put it on silent, close your email browser, and give yourself this gift of time that you are here for our Manager's Most Common Masterclass. I will be within 90 minutes. I will try and keep you entertained as well. So again, appreciate you for being here. Thank you, Nishka from Durban, South Africa. Hello. Hi, Wendy. Nice to see you from Campus Fire, Cape Town, Fire Protection Services, Cape Town Pet Care. Oh, very close to my heart. I have lots of those. Heidelberg, I'm a facilitator. Hi, Joost. Centurion in insurance, wonderful. Eddie from the Melilani industry, okay, sugar manufacturing. Ooh, thank you. Pretoria in real estate. Hi, Prudy. Wonderful. So lovely to have you all. I see quite a few people are still coming into the room, but it's 7:02. I am going to dive straight in for Rosa from Centurion Real Estate. Fantastic. Warren from Cape Town. Hi from Frontline Safety. Thank you so much. Wonderful to have you. Sherry, East London Photography, Print and Branding Industry. Awesome. Love those. So welcome to everyone. So excited. So nice to have different people, different industries. And one thing we have all in common, managers just wanting to correct those mistakes, making our jobs a little bit easier. And I always say working smarter, not harder. So thank you again for being here. My name's Nikki. I'm going to be hosting our masterclass with you this evening. We'll try and remove my glasses and get my eyes in so I can read as well. Please do get those fingers on the keyboard. It is an interactive masterclass. I will also be doing a live Q&A at the end. So welcome to Manager's Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. So how many of you feel like you live the perfect balanced life? That while you are at work, you can achieve all those goals. So when you get home, you have quality time with your family, your friends, and even yourself. Days off, you can be on the golf course, or pamper days at the spa. What about long, lazy lunches on a wine farm on a beautiful summer's day, or dinner dates with your partner? Have you been thinking about that trip to the Maldives? I mean, doesn't this just sound like the perfect life? Or is it just a dream? Now, so often when I'm training any of my clients, they say to me, oh, Nikki, all we need is more work-life balance. All we need is more time. How many of you feel the same? Now, self-disclosure, I haven't mastered balance. But then I ask myself, can balance be mastered? Well, think about somebody walking across a tightrope between two high-rise buildings. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Let me know in the chat box. When is balance the most important? Beginning, middle, or the end? Wendy says, yeah, funny, perfect balance. Beginning, middle, or the end? Let me know. When is balance the most important? Okay, Yogo says in the middle. Karen says beginning. In the beginning. All of the above, Lizelle, all the way, yes, exactly that. Every step of the way, from the beginning to the end. Balance is not something we can master, but it's about being conscious of what we're doing. And these are the simplified tools that I like to share, to be conscious to bring that work-life balance. So this is for you this evening. If you could do with a little bit more work-life balance. This is also for you if you don't know how to recruit the perfect team member that's going to support you in giving you the work-life balance. This is also for you if you're managing your team, but not leading your team. And this is for you if you know how to delegate, but you don't always get the desired results. And this is also for you if you want to learn effective communication for each team member. So let me know which one resonates the most with you. A, you'd love more work-life balance. B, learn how to recruit the right team member to give you the work-life balance. What about C, learning how to lead your team, not just manage your team? Or D, learning clear, concise communication to delegate the 6-step tool to get a win-win? Or E, effective communication to each different personality? Which one resonates the most? A, B, C, D, or E? Anushka says, I'm clueless as I have no balance in my life. Anushka, stay here because that's how I used to be. And with the tools I share, girl, it's so much easier. So all of the above, A, C, and D. E, DNA, learn how to delegate. That would be D. Got E, C, and E. Lots of different numbers. Love the interaction as well. Your energy fuels my energy. So keep going. You can choose as little or as many as you like. Now, I would love to find out, are you currently in a leadership position? So just let me know in the chat box. Are you currently in a leadership position? Yes or no? And if you're not, it's not yet, or not right now, but you're still in the right place. All right, lots of yeses coming through. Thank you. And my second question is, have you studied for your leadership position? So just put a S if you studied, or if you were internally promoted, IP. So I've done internally promotion and now studied, but often it was just internal promotion for a long time. All right, so got some IP, lots of people in a leadership position, no self-taught. Thank you. Keep going. Let me know. One thing that I've learned specifically in South Africa, we're very good at internal promotion. We see a shining star, we see somebody with leadership capabilities, and often they get internally promoted. I had the blessing of working overseas for 10 years, and they were incredibly strict that you were not allowed to step into a leadership role without a degree. Yet, I made it in only on internal promotion. So sometimes we are better in South Africa because we see those shining stars, but we're not always taught the right tools. And that can make our role as the manager quite challenging. So it's not your fault, whether you're internally promoted or studied, that you're in this management role because you're a shining star. But sometimes we haven't got all the tools in our toolkit to help us lead with authority. And it's not your fault that you may sometimes feel like you're constantly putting out fires. Sometimes the fires we started. And it's not your fault that you haven't been taught how to follow the process to recruit the perfect team member to help you in your role as a leader to gain more work-life balance. And it's not your fault that we haven't all been taught different personalities, and it takes different communication styles to lead different personalities. And it's not your fault that we haven't all been taught the 6-step process of delegation to give us the win-win results. And it's not your fault that often we internally promoted without being taught the clear communication style of how to lead your team through clear communication. But this is going to end in the next 90 minutes. I want to give you so many valuable tools. I want to again thank you for being here. Wave my magic wand that you can walk away at the end of today's masterclass. So tips, tricks to be a better manager and leave those mistakes behind. Because I totally get this. I started in a hospitality environment at the age of 15 and very quickly grew into an assistant manager. I then went traveling for 10 years, and I spent 10 years living in the beautiful island of the Caribbean, working as a manager with international clients as well as staff members, so many different cultures and nationalities. When I returned back to South Africa, 2004, I joined the Woolworths coffee shop run by Tribeca. And when I started in the business, end of 2004, early 2005, we only had 32 restaurants. By the time I left, over 150. We started really small with a staff complement of 452. When I left, 14 years later, 2,500 people. I am a person that loves to say yes to learning and yes to growth. I made so many mistakes on this journey, consistently growing and learning through my mistakes. But as our company started to grow, I said to my boss, I actually spoke to him a little bit earlier today, my ex-director, I said, something has to change. I'm getting exhausted, constantly working longer hours, hectic hours as our company was growing. And I was like, please, can I go and learn a few things, bringing simplified tools into our business? He was incredibly amazing and said, go and do whatever courses you want to do, as long as you come back, put it into training material and train everyone in our company, testing it out and making sure it works. And that's where I really started focusing on the 3 C's of life. It's making a choice to have a growth mindset, taking a chance and investing in myself and the company investing in me, and making the changes to make the job easier, more enjoyable, and keep learning for growth. So that's where I learned some simplified tools, bringing them back into the business, putting them into application, utilizing it for the 14 years of working in the coffee shops, and making sure we had ironed out all those mistakes, trained everyone in the company, and started loving our roles. So by the time I left 14 years later, I was the National Customer Service Head. I had 8 regional managers. We had over 300 managers then and 2,500 staff. I also head up leadership and recruiting. From all the different courses I had done, I put together the training manuals. And after 29 years in hospitality, I was like, can't do this for another 29. I had outgrown my position. And that's when I decided to do something completely new and joined the real estate sector. The beauty of getting into real estate, completely different industry, was what I realized then was whether I was speaking hospitality or real estate, the language of people was universal. I worked as a team leader for 16 months, starting with a team of 15 agents and growing it to 50 agents. And 2 days before the president put the country in lockdown, our entire leadership team got retrenched. So somebody that loves to say yes to the challenge, that's when I launched my own training company, the Winning Attitude Skills Training. I had started training while I worked with Woolworths during my 14 years there, plus training in real estate. And then I brought it all together with my company. And still today, keep saying yes, focusing on that growth mindset and always looking to learn and grow as all of you are here today. This is exactly what I love to do, attending masterclasses and growing as well. So I want to welcome you to Manager's Most Common Masterclass. Manager's Most Common Mistakes Masterclass. I'm very excited. Sorry, I'm getting all tongue-tied. And with that, I love to share my 32 years experience in leadership. I love to share the mistakes I made, the tools I've learned to overcome those mistakes so that I don't have to make it again, and share these tools with you to help you grow from a manager into a leader. Now, as a thank you for being here this evening, I had 66 people register for this evening. We've got 21 people in the room, so thank you. I would love, after this evening session, to send you a workbook from what we're going to cover this evening. So, working smarter, not harder. Can I ask you in the chat box, go ahead, just drop your email address. That way, as soon as we finish the session, I can tag you, send you that thank you email. Just makes it so much quicker, so much easier. And then you can actually just sit back, drink your tea, your coffee, your glass of wine, enjoy the show, and don't have to worry about writing too much down. So again, go ahead in the chat box. You can drop it privately or directly to me if you don't want to put it in the group, your email address, so that I can send you that thank you workbook as well. But there is an elephant in this room. I mean, I can't share my last 32 years experience of all my mistakes and my teachings and learnings with you in 90 minutes. So only with your permission, when the time is right, I am going to ask you if I can share more information about my powerful leadership transformation course with you. I call it my PLT 12 modules, but only when the time is right. And I do recognize quite a few of you in this room, but for those of you that are here for the first time, I know I've worked with some of you. Wendy from Compass Fire, it was such a privilege working with you. But if you don't know who I am, go ahead after the session, type in the winning attitude on Google, go and see what other people have said about me. I've got 131 Google reviews on Google, plus my 20, I think I've got 25, 26 Facebook reviews. Go ahead and see what other people have said about what they have learned with working with me. So from there, I want to ask you, are you ready? Are you ready to dive straight in? I see all these wonderful email addresses coming through. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Fabulous. I can only send you that thank you email if I have your email address. So are you ready to dive in? Got those fingers on the keyboard. Close that game of Candy Crush if you think you can do both. Think you can just give yourself this gift of time. Fantastic. So let's dive straight in. What is the difference between a manager and a leader? Now, often I will say a manager is somebody who can stand in front of a group of people, give them a direct instruction. But when they walk away and nothing's changed, you're simply just a person taking a walk. The difference between a manager and a leader is the leader has the ability to influence their team to achieve a common goal. They can stand in front of their team, give them a direct instruction, and when everybody understands what needs doing and puts it into action, that is the leader leading their team. The difference between a manager and a leader is effective communication. How we communicate to our team, how we lead our team to achieve that common goal. So we often think about, how many of us have stepped into this role. Maybe we've studied or internal promotion, but often, even with internal promotion, even with going to do courses, it's a role that we step into with a little, sometimes very little training. I have worked with executive leaders and management teams that have got MBAs, and they said, you know what, Nikki, we knew a lot of your information, but we never knew the how to apply the information. And that's the difference in the way you teach. Because often we're given the tools, or we're just given the surface level, but not the how to put it into application. And what we don't know can cost us time, energy, trust, and often good staff members. And today I want to show you these challenges are real, but they are definitely not permanent. So it all starts here with your mindset. Top achievers focus on their mindset every single day. Their first waking hour, they're focusing on what to do to set their mindset out of the day. And be that exercise to visualization, to meditation, to reading, that's what we need to focus on. Our mindset is an inside to an outside experience. The way we feel on the inside is how we're going to experience life on the outside. So what are you doing every single day to focus on your mindset? When people say to me, I can't wait to be a manager, I can't wait to be a leader, it is an absolute privilege to lead a team. And the only way we can lead a team is to have that positive mindset. Think about your best boss you've ever had, or your best school teacher you ever had. They generally are the positive, happy people. As I spoke to my previous director of the Woolworths coffee shops earlier today, and I just said to him, you know, I left there over 7 years ago. I still talk about him every single day. He was such a positive impact in our life. I used to call him the bumblebee of passion. So if ever we were feeling like a little meh, we used to phone him up and he'd just like zip us up with some passion. But that passion is what he fueled into all his team members. And that's what we took forward to share with our team, focusing on always having a positive mindset. So when it comes to positive mindset, we are going to make some common mistakes. And in fact, in my powerful leadership transformation, I discuss 10 of managers' most common mistakes. Today, I'm just going to touch on a few with you. But the first one is poor hiring decisions. Now, so often managers say to me, but that's out of my control. I don't even hire. Well, that is the first problem. As managers, we often inherit staff meetings and we're not even part of the recruitment process. So I'd love to know in the chat box, are you part of your recruitment process? Yes or no? Or are you responsible for recruitment? Just go ahead and let me know. Okay, Nisha says no. Have some water. Yes, I'm part of it. Yes. Okay, so lots of messages coming through. Got lots of yeses, got some no's coming in. So often you think about, are you responsible for recruitment? Even if your answer is no, and you're not part of the recruitment process, this is the time I'm going to say to you, go to HR, go to who does recruitment and say, I need to be part of the process. It is so important for you to be part of who you're going to lead, because it then comes back to, do you understand how to follow a recruitment process? I know for my first 10 years while I was working overseas, I often did recruitment, but you hired somebody just like you. So if you're bubbly and full of personality, you generally hire people bubbly and full of personality. If you're more the academic type, you hire people just like you. And often not always the right person for the job. So when I come to recruiting, I actually have a course called Recruiting Talent. It's a 6-hour course. But what this breaks it down to is the understanding of the importance of recruitment. From where do we source our applicants from? Because talent is also looking for companies that are talent. And are you looking at the right places? To how do we go about and write advertisements to attract the right personality for the right role? And do you know which is the right personality for that role that's going to complement everyone in the team? And then from there, looking at CVs, going through applications, identifying any potential red flags, to the pre-interview process that can already save you so much time, to the interview process of asking the right questions, again, using effective communication to get the behavioral styles, their skills, their mindset, and to get the clarity around those answers, to what is the closing of the interview and the after process and reference checks. This alone is 6 hours value. But so often we don't know how to recruit. And we often hire fast, sticking square pegs into round holes, desperately to fill a position. Think about you've inherited a team, or HR saw somebody there saying HR doesn't care. They just hand over somebody for you to fill the gap. Well, what is the cost of doing nothing? What is the cost of not being responsible or included in the recruitment process? What is the cost of working with somebody in your team who's not performing? Well, keeping the wrong person in the wrong role. Let's just say, on average, you spend 16 hours a month fixing one person's poor work performance on a average 20,000 Rand salary. Think of the amount of time lost in turnover and errors that you are fixing. If that's 4 hours per week that you're fixing, it's 208 hours in a year, which is over 50,000 Rand cost of time. And that's not even including your time. So when we look at the cost of a mishire, that's just the time it's taking you to fix it. So often, when I meet with different participants and I meet with different people that I work with, and I go, firstly, do you even have KPIs? Do you have job responsibility agreements or job descriptions? Do you have minimum standards? And so many companies say we don't. So the important part is firstly having your minimum standard. Because sometimes what can happen is you place an ad, 5 people apply. Out of those 5, they are here. But because no one else applied, we choose the best of the 5. But they're not even near our minimum standard. So we choose the best of the 5, we hire them, and then we can spend 6 months training them just to reach our minimum standard. For them, their growth is 100%. For us, we're just getting started. So what is the cost of that mishire? What is the cost of leading without clarity and confidence? Quite often, loss of productivity and profitability. And this is the importance of understanding how to recruit the right person with the right personality that's going to complement your team. Because it's not just about your time. It's your energy. It takes so much time to train someone, to get them to the level you need them. It can also cost team morale, because now your team has to constantly help and fix problems too. And what about everyone here who's in this management leadership role going, I'm finally in this role? It's about staying in love with the role you've worked so hard to earn. And that's what we need to focus on. So how would you be able to lead or improve your leadership skills with having the right team? Think about delegating to someone, empowering people to become your assistant, empowering people to grow, having the right people in the right place. That's where it all starts. Hiring people with talent that's going to help you take your business to the next level. The second of managers' most common mistakes is not understanding people. So when we are recruiting, we're recruiting people just like us. We're not really understanding that right here in this room, we have so many different kinds of personalities. And how do we lead our team irrespective of their personalities? I remember the one restaurant I ran overseas, I said to my boss, I was like, oh my gosh, running a restaurant is so easy, but managing these staff, and that's exactly what he said. Leadership is easy. Leading the team is where the challenge comes. So how do we manage our team? Now, I train using the DISC profile, and I utilize this particular session in every single course I offer, because it's so important to understand, firstly, your personality, secondly, your team's personality, and then in this particular course with leadership, how do you lead your team with their personalities to get your desired result? Now, how many of you, let me know in the chat box, know the disc profile? So be it the disc profile, some people also use colors, some people use plants, some people use birds. Let me know. Okay, some companies use AI for screening of CVs. Fabulous, yes, if they can get their AI, and again, you can train AI for that as well. That is fantastic, as long as you're giving them the correct information as well, so they can screen for you. All right, Louise says no. How many of you know about the disc profile? Never heard of disc. Okay, I'm just checking there too. So not aware of it. So there are multiple different kinds of personality profiling tools out there. You've got the Enneagram. Disc is the 4 personalities. I personally love using the disc. Again, a simplified tool. And when I look at the disc, it talks about 4 different personalities. Now, right here in this room, every single one of us fall into one quadrant or 2, but we'll have a little bit of all 4 blocks within us. But majority of us fall into 1 or 2. Now, I'm going to share the different personalities and most important, like the general aspects of those personalities, and they'll start to resonate with you. Again, this is a general statement this evening. This alone is a 2-hour training session, which helps you understand yourself and your team as well. So when we look at personalities, the top 2 squares are dominance, the bottom 2 squares easygoing. So if we're focusing on the top and the top left-hand side, which is your dominant formal, that falls under D for disc, which is known as direct, otherwise a red personality. Now, direct personality's little slogan is just do it. They people that generally like to be in charge, great bosses, CEOs. In fact, they don't like anyone having power over them. They're very task orientated, very bottom line people, and they can be quite challenging. If you put a competition out there, they will win that competition. So they can come across very fast and aggressive, quite curt in the way they speak. They just want to get things done. Top right-hand side is your dominant and informal I, yellow for influential. I personalities are also very confident, love being around people, but in fact, they're the life of the party. They're positive, they're motivating, and they're also motivated by flattery. They often get bored quite easily, so they will jump from task to task quite fast. They have a huge love for being around people and have a serious worry about FOMO. So even if they're non-smokers, they'll go outside with the smokers just so they don't miss out on any potential juicy gossip. Then we have bottom right-hand people. Informal, easygoing, S for steady, otherwise known as the green. They are more soft, also love people, very good listeners. They are known as your peacemakers or your peacekeepers. They will go out of their way to help anyone to get their job done, and they don't like to say no. And because of that, often do not achieve their own goals. Then we have easygoing and formal, bottom left-hand side, which is blue for compliant. Compliant personalities are very analytical. They're very detail-orientated, and they like data. So if you have it, they can come across to look quite serious, because they want figures, they want to make sure they don't like to get anything wrong, so they want all the information. I'd love to know which one resonated with you. D for direct, I for influential, S for steady, or C for compliant. Let me know which one resonated the most for you. Okay, between a C and an S, got an S. Okay, Martha says a C, C. I think I'm all of them, maybe even more direct. Okay. I actually may say, Sherry, just from the emails I've got, potentially a DI. All right, Jeremiah, C, Joyce, D-I. So often what happens when it comes to different personalities, when you get to know this, it's actually lovely because you can start identifying people from the way they speak, from their emails, from their phone communication, from what they're wearing. It is a fabulous, fabulous tool to have. Now, let me use this as an example. As somebody that in an operational mindset, I could be a very high D, talk about Woolworths coffee shops. So if I was a very high D and I walked into a Woolworths coffee shop, a D to a D can just give a direct instruction. I can just go and wash the floor, and they'll go wash the floor. But a D to an I, so if I go Gavin, who says I'm an I, Gavin, go wash the floor, and Gavin will go, Did your mother not teach you please or thank you? That's not the way you talk to people. But if I go, hey, Gavin, quite good looking today. You look really good. You smell good. Do you mind washing the floor? Gavin will go, of course, I'll go wash the floor, and off he'll go wash the floor. If I say to an S, go wash the floor. So I've got Elaine who says she's an S, and I go, Elaine, go wash the floor. And because I'm curt and short, she'll go wash the floor, but she'll have a little tear running down her face going, did you hear how she spoke to me? Whereas if I look at Martha as C and I go wash the floor, Martha's going to go, what floor do you want me to wash? Do you want me to wash from the front to the back or the left to the right? How would you like me to wash it? So in order to get a direct instruction to Martha, I'm just going to say, please can I ask you to wash the kitchen floor, use the red mop, wash from the front to the back. You've got 5 minutes. All the information. So how we communicate, understanding different personalities will help us get the result we desire. So interesting, Anisha, you say I'm a bit of all. Often we have a little bit of all in us, but I often do the session with about 30 people in a room, and out of 30 people, every second or third time, so 1 in 100, you'll have one person that's equal between all 4. Most of us fall majority in 1 or 2 blocks, but we'll have a little bit of each. Once you understand this tool, it helps you in your day-to-day conversations, in working with people generally, in relationships, and also in the working space. Every single person is incredibly important in their position. But can you imagine leading a team with 10 I personalities, or 10 steadies, or 10 compliance, or 10 directs? The difference is when you've got a company, or you've got a business, or you've got a team of people that you want all 4 personalities to complement each other as well. So what is fantastic about this is once you understand different personalities, I mean, just looking at this picture right here, let's just say they're all rooting for the same soccer team that's just scored a goal. Their reactions can tell me what personality they are, from facial expressions to body language, and then also the clothes they're wearing. I could quite comfortably tell you which personality I feel, my opinion is that they are in, purely from their reaction. And from the beginning from a session to the end of a 2-hour session, you'll be able to do exactly the same. It is transformational. All right, so think about that. How would you be able to improve your leadership skills once you understand every single team member to communicate clearly to get those excellent results? Do you see the power of just understanding personalities and how you can shift your communication to give you the best leadership style? So let's look at managers' most common mistakes, number 3, work-life balance. How many of you would love more work-life balance? Now, we often heard about the Pareto principle or the 80-20% principle, but it is about identifying your big rocks at work. What about printing out your job description tomorrow, or your job responsibility agreement, or your KPA, whatever you may call it in your business, and highlighting your top 20%, the 20% that you were hired for, the most important part of your job, that if you didn't do that, the company wouldn't be able to continue, and highlight those tasks first. Now, it doesn't mean your 80% is not important. It just means you start on your 20% first. Because so often we focused on what we love and not necessarily what we need to do. And how often at the end of the day you get home and go, I had such a crazy busy day, but how productive were you? I know when I used to check in with my director after work at the end of the day, and I used to go, oh my gosh, that was such a busy day. His question to me was, what value did you add to my company today? In other words, how productive were you? For me, that was such a valuable question that I still now, with my business, 5.5 years, ask myself that every day. What value did I add to the winning attitude today? And that helps me set clear, defined, purposeful goals every single day for my success list, for my big rocks, to focus on adding value. And the only way and the important way to do that is to be so clear on your personal and your professional goals. So many people say they have goals, but they're not following the SMART analogy of specific, measurable, achievable, realistic with a time base. Or they have goals, but they don't write it down, or they don't share their goals with others. And this is the important part of being clear with your goal. I help everyone that I work with focusing on their goals and then how to take it out of this long, tedious to-do list and turn it into a success list. Because to-do lists often consists of everything we need to do, which is so long and can take us off track. And we feel like we need to do it just because it's on a list, which is a complete time waster. In fact, how often do we go to our to-do list to tick something off? It's not there, so we quickly write it down just so we can tick it. I used to be guilty of that. Now I have 3 things on my success list for every single day, focusing on strategic, top, big rocks. These lists are short. They help me stay on track. They help me give extraordinary results. And most important, guide me to succeed. Now, everyone that I've worked with and I focus on a success list, I've got a tool that I use from a book called The One Thing, and it's called the 411. We take our success list, we break down our goals, focusing on 1 year, 1 month, 4 weeks, and we have a spreadsheet that we utilize every single week, focusing on our success list, helping us to achieve our weekly goals, monthly goals, and yearly goals. And with that, we take these 411 success lists and we put it into our calendars and time block it. Now, who here knows about time blocking or does time block? Let me know in the chat box. Because time blocking has been what has absolutely changed my life, getting work, life, and balance. So I'd love to hear from you. How many of you time block? Sherry says, me. Never heard of it. I don't. Okay, do it, but seldom stick to it. So those that have done it know that it works. Those, I had also never heard of it pre-2018. It's a tool that I learned and started to apply. So what I do when it comes to time blocking, it's the same thing with any new habit. It takes time to build the consistency and build the habit. So once you start focusing on your success list and you're breaking it down into your top 3 things, putting it into your 411, then you come out with your calendar. I personally use my Google Calendar. I like to color code because that way it helps me stay or define when I'm working on my goals, when I'm working on money-making activities, when I'm working on my business versus in my business. So here's just an example of a time block calendar. I think this was from 2 weeks ago. And what I do with my time blocking. So my time blocking, I start with and I go anything dark green is my success list. Those are money making activities. So I'm physically earning money with my dark green. I'm training or I'm coaching. So that is working in my business. My light green is helping me for my goals, and that's working on my business. I may not be earning money, but it's meeting with clients, it's meeting with team members, we're running masterclasses, so that's working on my business. Anything else that's orange is personal. Now, if you look at the amount of orange in my week, there's a lot. And before I learned this in the last 7 years, there was very little personal time. In fact, I was a compulsive worker working often 16 to 18-hour days. Now I time block time with my friends, my hair, I do vocal lessons, time off, getting my nails done, whatever it may be. And then I still have study time, which is my dark purple time. So ultimately, anything else would go in blue. I just don't block it out in my calendar, specifically if clients book a one-to-one with myself. Anything that's open gaps is when I'm working on my 411, working on my 80%. So my success list is color-coded. My success list working on my business and in my business is color-coded. And then I have enough time focusing on my 80% as well as study time as well. This is what my calendar has been looking like since 2018, since I've learned this tool. And the amount of focus area to achieve my goals, do I achieve it every single week? Absolutely not. But I could not book an appointment without my calendar open, be it on my phone or in front of me. And specifically, when I look at it, is how much time do I have allocated? So if a client wants to book me out, at the moment, I'm fully booked until the end of September, because I know by the amount of energy I need per day working in my business, on my business, so that I can give each group 100%. And that is the power of time blocking. So this beautiful quote taken from the one thing. What's the one thing you can do? Such by doing it makes everything else easier or unnecessary. And sometimes what happens is somebody asks you to do something, you're just like, actually, is that part of my 20%? Is it going to help me make my job easier or unnecessary? And that's where you can decide yes, or simply no, hard no, or maybe just a no for now. The power of time to have work-life balance. I mean, what could you do if you had more time? How many of you felt complete excitement by looking at that calendar going, ooh, I could do that? Or, let me know in the chat box, a little bit of overwhelm. Okay, I'd like to imagine having more time. What could you do with that? The next of managers' most common mistakes, effective communication. The difference between a manager and a leader is effective communication. Now, even though I started training in 2005, when I started working with the Woolworths coffee shops, I was quite comfortable standing in front of a group of people and teaching and training, and that's actually where I developed the passion. But when I started my own company in 2020, I knew I needed to learn how to become an entrepreneur. I also knew that I had to up my game in life and start investing in myself and learning so much more. At the beginning of 2021, I signed up for 2 public speaking courses, one locally, one internationally. I then became a co-coach for a public speaking course for 2 years before becoming a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach. I have since launched my own public speaking course and Speak with Impact for Sales course, which helps you speak clearly and concisely with impact. And since I've been utilizing and learning these skills, I've brought them into my PLT 12 as well. Because how often do we assume everybody understands what we say? And that is one of the biggest mistakes around communication, the assumption of understanding. We often have this should be picture, and we assume that our should be picture and your should be picture is the same. But often our picture and the way you understand it is completely different. And this is where it comes to effective communication. Once you learn simplified tools to communicate, it will improve your day-to-day conversations. Entrepreneurship, it will improve your relationships in business, colleagues, clients, your partners. It gives you the tools and helps you with confidence. It will improve your business, increase your sales, negotiation skills, and leadership. In fact, learning simplified tools, that's where I met Wendy on my Speak with Impact for Sales course, improves your life. And that is learning simplified skills to help you speak clearly and concisely. And be it speaking to your team member one-to-one or hosting a meeting one-to-many, it makes a massive difference. In fact, I had a lady a year ago. She owns a pharmacy in the Eastern Cape. And she said, you know what, Nikki, I've got 80 staff members and I've never hosted a staff meeting. I'm petrified to stand in front of them. After 3 sessions, she hosted a first team meeting. And after, she's like, I actually fell in love with my voice. That was really awesome. She had the confidence to lead her team. Now, some of you might be here going, no, I'm quite comfortable and confident with how I sound. But how many of us sometimes go on a washing machine spin cycle, spitting words out endlessly and not making any sense? And in fact, you book an hour team meeting and now you're sitting in 2 hours and you still haven't landed your point. And this is the importance of understanding effective communication. So how could improved communication help you lead your team? So this course is not just going to teach you leadership. It's going to shift the way your team sees you, the way they hear you and follow your lead. Just one nugget right there on communication. I speak about the 80-20% principle on time. Think about that with your team as far as communication. What about spending 80% of your time listening to your team and only 20% communicating? That's where transformation in leading your team will happen. So the other mistakes that I also cover, common mistakes that are made, is not understanding how to set goals or the purpose of a goal. In fact, a purpose of a goal is about changing your behavior, not just setting a goal and hoping you land it. So often not understanding the difference between performance management and consequence management. Often managers lead or they get given a team of people and they're putting up with poor performance because they don't understand the difference or the understanding of HR disciplinary process. They don't understand or they're too scared to do performance management or consequence management. Consequence management is being proactive instead of reactive. And often this is a mistake managers make because we want to be liked. We want everyone to love us, but we don't realize if we're not leading our team and they are not delivering, we're the ones that are going to be held responsible. What about understanding accountability and how to apply that into your business? Often managers preach about accountability, but they don't understand how to live accountability. So I will teach you accountability, how to live an accountable life, and more importantly, inspire accountability with your team and to your team. It helps you inspire downwards, sideways, and upwards towards your stakeholders or directors. Not communicating and openly and building a trustworthy environment. These are all the other mistakes that are made. And in fact, I cover this in our first 3 sessions. The difference between the dictatorial manager and those that want to be liked. Your dictatorial is your autocratic, get to your point. And often the one to be liked is the manager that's nice. We want to bring that to an even tone. I mean, there's a time to be dictatorial, It's always we want to be liked, but more importantly, we want to be respected, firm, and fair. A lot of managers don't understand how to motivate their team, and they use a cookie cutter approach, treating everybody equally. But in fact, different personalities want different motivation styles, or not leading by example. Today, I was coaching a team of leaders this afternoon, and they were like, oh, we didn't realize that we can't sit on our phone and play games while our staff are working. Absolutely. What you do, your entire team needs to be able to do as well. So these are other mistakes that I cover as well. So what keeps managers stuck? Hiring under pressure. How many of you have felt that? Desperately need someone, so you just hire someone, put a square peg in a round hole. Low performing teams that are draining your energy, helping you fixing their mistakes. Overwhelm, you just do it yourself. It's just so much easier. Leading without a clear system, kind of just doing what you need to do when you need to do it. Fear of confrontation. Quite a few of you said your personality C's and S's, and sometimes C's and S's don't like confrontation. It doesn't mean you don't know how to handle it, but so much easier just sweeping it under the carpet. Now, nobody likes confrontation, but I teach you a 4-step tool on confrontation, which often confrontation we don't like to handle it because it can take a couple of hours. With my simplified tool, 15 minutes. What about fear of failure? That often keeps managers stuck as well. What if it doesn't work? What if I mess up? So thinking about all of these, most managers, they are losing productivity, great team members, and time every single day, simply because they're stuck in their habits. So can you afford to lose 3 more months doing the same? So the 3 C's of life, one of my favorite quotes: choices, chances, changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. So I'd like to ask you, may I share more information with you about my PLT12, my Powerful Leadership Transformation course? Just let me know in the chat box, may I spend or share more with you? Martha, consequence management is an issue. Absolutely, and that's the importance of understanding consequence management, because nothing's going to change unless you make the change, right? So nothing changes unless we do. So I would love to go deeper there with you. If you have a question at the end, go ahead. Save those questions. Let me answer them. Thank you. Yes, please. Yes, you man. I would appreciate it. My pleasure. Yes, yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you so much for your permission. So my name's Nikki Abraham, and I love to empower managers to transform into effective leaders. So you can increase productivity, creating an environment where your team wants to perform to their full potential. It will increase your profit margins without working harder, only smarter. So if I ask you, would 12 modules of clarity and structure help you finally feel in control? And if you saw yourself in some of today's sessions, that's not a mistake. It's clarity. And clarity leads to change. So I'd love to introduce you to Nadia and what she shares about having completed my course. I'm just checking volume. Wendy, and I think it's Biani. Just let me know if you can hear.
Hi, I'm Nadia, and I won Nikki's Powerful Leadership Transformation course at a fundraiser. At the time when I started the course, I was not in a leadership position, but about 2 weeks in, I got retrenched from my previous position, and I was not sure where I was going next, and my self-confidence and belief in the work that I was doing, or my ability to do my work, was very low. Nikki's leadership course gave me the confidence, the skills and the tools to believe in myself, and the courses helped me to speak to people, has changed the way that I think about myself, and it's helped me to shatter the limiting beliefs that I have about myself. I feel a lot more confident, and now that I am almost finding myself in a leadership position, I am super excited to apply the tools that I have learned so that I may be as inspiring as Nikki to the people that I work with. Nikki, I'd like to thank you so much for the support and all of the value that you have added to my life.
So just, absolutely amazing. So she, with that, with Nadia, she has since stepped into a leadership role, working for an international company, leading a team in digital marketing, utilizing everything that I have shared with her. So, this isn't a course you go through alone. I always say when we start working together, I become a coach in your pocket. And all you need to do is show up to the first module, and then you're going to want to keep going on as well. So my Powerful Leadership Transformation by PLT 12, it is 12 modules. I have two options of how you can do this. One of them is on demand, buy it, do it at your own time, pre-recorded. Plus, you get some bonuses of being able to join me live weekly for masterminds or ask me sessions. Or next week, Tuesday, it's only my second live course this year that I've launched. I have really focusing on my online launch, but I will be doing a live launch starting next week. Like I said, only my second one for this year. It is my VIP launch, and that where we will have not one-to-one, a very small intimate group, 90-minute session every single week for 90 minutes from 3 to 4:30. So what this course covers is session number 1, your big why. You get a 60-day habit challenge, how to become an effective leader, turning your weaknesses into strengths. Also, the 7 primary responsibilities of a manager, and you identify the 9 pieces of a management puzzle. I always say, as a manager, you are the border to the puzzle. You can make the picture whole and complete. The goal is to complete your entire team, empowering them with your leadership style. Session number 2, focusing on mindset, how to choose your attitude as well to get those results you desire and inspire positivity in your team. We will focus on goal setting. This is a timeless session that you understand how to set goals using the SMART analogy, plus holding your team accountable with the same vision and mission for your company's goals as well, and how to set your goals that you can reach your potential. Session 3, it's all about time mastery using the Pareto principle, focusing on the 80-20%, applying the 4-1-1, learning how to time block so you turn your to-do list into your success list, focusing on time saving strategies, and most importantly, starting to embrace life with work, life, and balance. Session 4 and 5, we focus on managers' most common mistakes, specifically on communication and building a trustworthy environment, letting go of any dictatorial, aggressive management style, or how to deal with that style if you have that in your company, from criticism and negative discipline. Also, how to motivate our employees and preventing wanting to be liked. Session number 5, I've also brought in the accountability process from session number 4 so that you start learning how to work and lead the accountability process. Part 4 of the mistakes is poor hiring decisions, not managing conflict, delegation, and not leading by example. In fact, conflict and delegation is such a powerful session. They have their own 90-minute session where you learn the tools and the how to as well. So we touch on this in session 5, but we spent a lot of time, there we go, Martha, on performance management versus consequence management, following the HR disciplinary code of conduct. But specifically, I always say, it's like telling someone to go to hell and they look forward to the trip. The goal is always to get people to become the best version of themselves. Session number 6, again, the DISC profile training. This is a 2-hour training session, understanding your personalities, how to lead your team, your personality, their personalities, and how to get the best result. Session 7, effective delegation. So I'm just giving you touch points of each session. They're all jam-packed with value. Benefits of delegation, essential criteria for delegation, reverse delegation, and the 6-step tool to delegation. This alone will help. Once you understand this, the should-be picture to what is needed is so incredibly empowering, because you get to develop your team by sharing simplified tools, the 6-step process of delegation, which is empowering them to learn more and freeing you up some time. Session number 8, conflict management for a win-win. So it's different personalities, how we handle conflicts, dangers of ignoring conflict, benefits of handling conflict. Plus, you will learn how to apply the 4-step process of conflict to resolve conflict, saving you so much time for a win-win reconciliation. Session number 8, for anyone that suffers from imposter syndrome. Sometimes we all go through this. Can I do this? Am I good enough to do? So how we lead with a limitless life, and it helps us to become purposeful in our power. Session number 10, we speak about management styles and powers, the autocratic, which is needed at times, versus the participative power, the different effective attributes of a leader, and the management powers we can use as strengths in a management style as well, so that we can master our potential as a leader. Session number 11 is how to conduct meetings that can save time following an agenda. Plus, I give you 5 different meeting styles. So you're not having a meeting week after week that feels boring and monotonous. Plus, how to bring icebreakers into it that your team actually look forward to the next meeting. Plus, identifying those shining stars so you can focus on team development and growing your team. And then session number 12, the 10 accountability commitments, how to inspire accountability in your team, leading with an accountable leadership mindset that your team want to be held accountable, and keys to leadership. This is a 12-module jam-packed session. It will help you stop doubting your leadership and start owning your role as a confident, strategic, and team builder. I got the most beautiful message last night from Cindy. She's just completed my leadership course on demand. And she shared this with me yesterday. She said, Nikki, your passion for what you do made this course an amazing experience. It was easy to relate to the course material. Thank you for sharing your passion, knowledge, and insights. We need more leaders like you. This course gives you a very strong reminder of how important self-awareness is in any leadership role, and how important it is to know, understand, and value the uniqueness of each team member. There are so many golden nuggets to take away from this course. It is rich in content and well delivered. Cindy just completed the on-demand. She did it in a month, and she was like, Nikki, I'm starting from scratch again. I absolutely loved it. So I was so excited to receive that. So money aside, I mean, if this was free and I could help you grow from a manager into a leader so that you can achieve the common goals and increase productivity and profitability without working harder, only smarter, just let me know in the chat box who would want to work with me. Oh, thank you so much, Wendy, for your beautiful, beautiful message here. Thank you. All right, Danisha says, I would. Lego says, me, I would. Myself, Martha, I would. All right, thank you. Sherry says, me, thank you. I would love to say it's for free, but this is also an investment in yourself. Often your company will invest in you as well. And as much as I would love to say it's for free, I'm constantly investing in myself, learning and growing as well. So this is my livelihood. And as much as I'd like to say it's free, it is not, because I have invested so much time and effort to make this course, putting it with simplified tools, helping you save time. And that you can't put a rand value on. So, like Wendy shared a beautiful comment there in the chat box. Thank you, Wendy. As well as those, go and have a look at my Google reviews. Go and have a look at what other people said. And I'd love to share this with you that here's a couple of my reviews. But Non-Klankla Happiness, she contacted me September, just almost 2 years ago now. And she contacted me and said, Nikki, I'm going to do your course. And I was like, okay, are you in a leadership position? She said, no, I work for government. I'm a paramedic, but I don't want to be a paramedic forever. I want to grow into leadership role. So I said, are they investing in you? And she said, no, I'm investing in myself. She paid and joined the next group. And she sent this voice note to me 2 months ago. Please listen.
After I did the course, I got promoted from being an operational paramedic who was a shift worker to an acting sub-district manager. Imagine, Nick, sub-district manager. So I'm managing close to 90, if not 90, is 92 staff that I am managing. Yeah, I didn't think that I'll be able to do that, Nick. As you know me, as you know, when I was starting to do the course, I was also like a shy person. I can stand as a sub-district manager. And I'm looking forward to apply for the post when it's being advertised. I'm not gonna be an acting SDM for so long. I'll end up being sub district manager because of your cause, Nick. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Bye.
Isn't that just so precious? And that was 2 months ago. I'd love to introduce you as well to Mariska.
Hi, Nikki. I just wanted to let you know how much my life has changed since I joined one of your courses. So, just over a year ago, I took a leap of faith and I joined one of your courses. And it was about a month in, and one of the directors noticed a change in me, and so much that they offered to pay for the rest of my course, which was amazing, such a blessing, something I never saw coming. And then following the course, I just followed your advice, stayed in touch, still seeing you on a regular basis, and now being part of the leadership mindset. It's changed me so much. It has empowered me to work better with my team, to be a better leader. And on top of that, I just got to share this with you. I have just recently got promoted to director. So yay, super excited for the future. And thank you to you.
So this was 6 weeks ago that she shared this with me. What I loved is that, again, she invested in herself and the company noticed the difference and asked her for the invoice so they could refund her. And that is incredible. So this is not for everyone. It's not for you just to learn these tools, delegate and walk away. It's for managers that are willing to make the difference, willing to take this, empower themselves and empower their team as well. And you can continue doing what you're doing and do it slow, or you can come work with me and within 3 months, in fact, a couple of weeks, know these tools that are going to be life changing. So, my powerful leadership transformation, I have two options. One of them is the on demand course launch, or you can do it live with me starting next week, Tuesday from 3 till 4:30. Every single session will be recorded. You will be in a very small, intimate room. It is a VIP launch, and that way you have direct access to Q&A. You meet like-minded leaders as well, and we take your leadership style to the next level. But for action takers, those that are ready to say yes and dive in immediately within the next 24 hours, these are some of the bonuses that you can get. Is one of them 12 weeks of the Go Getter Business Mastermind. This is every Tuesday morning. It's 30 minutes every week. You can, in fact, even if you're not ready for leadership right now, you can join the Go Getters Business Mastermind. We hold you accountable weekly to a goal, focusing on business strategies and mindset. You will also get 3 months free access to my Powerful Leadership Transformation Mastermind. That is for anyone who's completed my course or currently busy with my course. Those are sessions I have bi-monthly, every second Monday from 3 to 4. I alternate these with my bi-monthly Ask Me Anything sessions, live coaching sessions valued at 1,997 Rand. And with that, I will offer that every single Monday from 3 to 4. You will also get an on-demand training session of how to handle challenging customers using a six-step tool called the BLAST principle, plus the art of negotiation communication, an on-demand training session. So the value of all these bonuses of Go Getters Business Mastermind, your Leadership Mastermind, Ask Me sessions, handling challenging customers, and the art of negotiation, plus my 12 modules of the Powerful Leadership Transformation is valued at 18,997. So total value here is 26,788 Rand. And that is all you get, and learning how to simplify these tools. I have spent hundreds of thousands of Rand on my leadership journey, masterclasses, training nationally and internationally. But for the next 24 hours, the bonuses are included. And if you're interested, but you need to speak to your boss, or you'd like to deposit and keep those bonuses to secure, send me an email and say, I want to chat to my boss first. However, that is not the price I'm sharing with you today. So 2 options, live or on demand. Live, I am offering, I say it's a Women's Month special. I've extended it for the launch for Tuesday. And I love working with men as well, very much about that. So the price, including the 20% discount for the live VIP training, is 15,197 Rand. There is a payment plan for that. You're welcome just to jump onto the website. I'm just dropping it here as well. That is for the VIP live training, which is weekly from 3 to 4:30, launching next week, Tuesday. Alternatively, you can do it at your own time, where you sign up, get immediate access. It's a one-time payment of 9,997. That way you can watch your course at your own time and your own pace. Plus, then you get to join the mastermind and the Ask Me sessions. So again, different coupon code. This is the price. It's already in the system for 15,197. That includes the 20% off. Alternatively, the one price where you sign up, once off payment on demand. And for those of you that are excited about recruiting talent, if you buy either of the on-demand or the live trading, you will get recruiting talent at 50% off at 2,497. So 50% off 2,497. So who am I? My name's Nikki. I'm a public speaker strategist, a TEDx Cape Town speaker coach, and a leadership extraordinaire. And I love helping managers transforming into leaders so they can increase profitability and productivity without working harder, only smarter. I would love to open up for a Q&A if there are any questions. I really appreciate you all being here this evening. Your time on this lovely, I had to check the day, Wednesday. I nearly said Tuesday, but on this lovely Wednesday evening, I appreciate every single one of you of being here, staying here. And if you have any questions, I am opening up for Q&A. I'm just going to leave this right here, right now. If you are looking, perhaps you want to look at your company signing up, working with a group of people as well, please do reach out. I will drop my email address there. Please do reach out, and I am very happy to have a conversation with you. If you have any questions about this too, before you want to dive straight in to see if you're the right fit, to see if you want to join the course, please do reach out. I'm very happy to have a conversation with you, see how it's going to make it work. If you have any questions or clarity, I am available to chat. So again, thank you for your time, for being here, your participation, your interaction, and for the two of you with your cameras on, mwah, thank you. It's always lovely speaking to someone as well. So otherwise, it's just talking to myself. So thank you again to everyone. If there are any questions, please feel free. You're welcome to raise a digital hand. I can unmute to you. Alternatively, ask in the chat box. Let me see how I can serve. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening. I will be here for a couple more minutes then if there are no questions. Thank you. And I hope to see some of you next week, Tuesday, live on VIP or on demand at the next Leadership Masterclass. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Diego, you've raised your hand. Can I unmute you? You had your hand raised. Let me know. There we go. Are you wanting to ask a question? You're welcome to go ahead. Hi.
Hey, Nikki, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
All right, cool. So I'm not sure if the questions were specifically about the course itself or just general Q&A.
Sure, go ahead. You're welcome to ask any. Let me see how I can serve.
So I think it's a bit of a layered question and in no small part a projection of, I guess, how I see my next prospects or just ambitions, and just would like to borrow from your experience, if I may.
Sure.
So at the moment, I'm working in a corporate space, insurance, but it's not necessarily where I plan to be. Or, yeah, like, you know, when you're teenagers and you plan to study, it's not where I saw it going, but now we're here.
Okay.
And more recently, I've started contemplating the prospect of studying further, maybe getting, you know, a more professional job, so on and so forth, for stable income, growth, etc., etc. But I think my question aligns more to, at the same vein, at the back of it, I do have ambitions of starting something, you know, and just leaving some sort of economic footprint in some shape, form, or way. So when I was hearing you speak, you spoke about working in restaurants and then further building a business. Is there any part of you maybe that sees growth as unlimited to what you study? Not to say that we will not study, right? But is it maybe the easy way out rather? So to say, maybe suppose then I get some sort of degree. The expectations to grow would still exist, even though you do have a degree, as opposed to just being a junior member in a professional firm or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure if my questions are coming through entirely.
So there was quite a lot to unpack with what you said. So my one question I would ask you, just to get clarity, are you saying, should I study if I'm not sure which path I want to go on? Because you've spoken about a couple of things. Going, I may want to be an entrepreneur. I want to leave a footprint. I'm currently in insurance, but I also want a salary-based job. Should I study, yay or nay? Is that what I'm understanding?
So not entirely. I think the question might align more to, is studying sort of the ticket out of the rat race? You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, but if you say, is it a stepping stone? So I wouldn't say studying is ever a ticket out. I think it's always a ticket in, because anything that you study and learn is going to help you grow. And I don't think any kind of studying is a waste of time. So I'll ultimately, you know, I read a lot of books, and sometimes I read a book cover to cover and I will learn one line in that book, and that one line was worth it. So I don't like to look at any studying, any kind of education as a waste. I always like to go in with the mindset of what can I learn, and even if it's one thing, it's one thing more. Now, I'm saying that, for example, attending a 90-minute masterclass like you've done this evening, if you learned one thing more, it would have been worth it. However, if you came here this evening, and some people may be here for 90 minutes and go, I learned absolutely nothing. Even if you didn't, that shows you how much you already know, which is something you've learned about how much you know. So I always look at studying as a positive. But I'm also at the same facet, what's going through my head, like, if I put a movie on to watch and I'm 10 minutes into the movie and I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to carry on watching that movie. You know, so if I signed up for a degree and I'm not feeling the passion to show up, if it's not serving me, I'm not going to continue with that degree. So I think that would come to, you know, maybe not sign up for a 4-year degree until you know where you want to be, and trialing different things to fuel your passion of what you want to do.
Okay.
But if you've spoken about entrepreneurship, you know, there's so many degrees, and I'm not an expert in studying because I've done a lot of courses and short courses and longer courses and online courses, and I'm still working with coaches, but I haven't gone to university to get my 3-year degree because it wasn't where I wanted to be. So ideally, though, everything I've done has helped me mold who I am today. And at no stage would I look at anything as a waste of time.
No, I appreciate that. I think that gives quite some insights. I think there is no ticket out, ticket in, the way you put it.
No, for me, it's a ticket in, you know. So I always say to someone, if you're not sure where you are yet, you know, you're like, I want to do entrepreneurship, I want to do insurance. I think every step of our journey helps us. It's the same as like the dating world. When you're dating, you know, you find out who you like and who you don't like. It's the same as studying. What do I love to do and what I don't love to do? I think I was very lucky at the age of 15 that I fell in love with hospitality, because I meet people my age now in their 50s who go, I hate what I do and I've never loved it. And I'm like, life is too short not to love what you do. So it sounds like you're young, sounds like you you know, tasting different things, taste away. Yeah, the world is your oyster. So there's nothing stopping you earning an income, studying insurance if you're on a commission, if you want to get something full-time to get a work or job on the side, and going and studying entrepreneurship at the same time. So there's nothing stopping you doing whatever you choose to do. I mean, I'm known up until the last few years of working 16, 18-hour days studying. And some nights I still study every night. You know, I still work on courses, international courses as well. I'm always looking for growth. I hope
No, I
that
like
helps.
that. It does. It does offer some perspective. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So keep firing. It sounds like you're young, dynamic. You've got bursting of energy. So get out there and make that footprint that you want to leave. So perfect. Thank you so much for everyone. Really appreciate you being here with me this evening. Look forward to working with you when you're ready, or just come to more masterclasses until you're ready as well. But have a wonderful evening and look forward to working with you sometime, somewhere, somehow. Good evening, everyone. Bye.